Hi, this is Santiago Pericos-Gertzen from Oracle. Today I'd like to share with you a simple demo that uses HTML5 video, WebSockets, and Glassfish. The name of the application is Video Sharing. This application simulates two people sharing a video and controlling each other's player remotely. Let me show you how that works. Over here we have two windows that are showing the same video, and as you can see, if I play one of the videos, the other one starts playing. If I pause the video, the other one pauses, and similarly, if I seek inside the video, I can control the other player. And of course, I can do this from the other end. I can play this video, I can pause it, and I can seek. The application was written using Glassfish Server Open Source Edition 3.1. The essence of the application is how user interface events are remoted through a WebSockets connection. Every time there's a play, a pause, or a seek in the video, the event is captured by JavaScript code in the browser and then remoted. The server then broadcasts the event to all the other participants in the session. The client code that receives such a remoted event translates the event into a local event. So let's have a look at the client code. In the client code, we have a network function that returns a network object or a closure, and this is where we initialize our WebSockets connection. We start with a URL that has the WS colon protocol, and then has a host, a path name, and video sharing as the context. Once we have the URL, we create a new WebSocket, and then we register callbacks for the events that we're interested. In this case, the OnMessage event is the one I'm going to talk about. Here's where we get data from the sockets connection. We parse the data, turn it into a command, and then determine what type of command we're seeing. It can be either a pause, a play, or a seek. And then for each of those commands, we simply call a method in the application object to do the appropriate action, essentially translating a remote event into a local event. Let's see how the reverse happens, how we take a local event and we remote it so that other players can carry the action. So that happens here in the initialize method in the application object. Here we registered event listeners for the three event types that we're interested, namely play, pause, and seek. And for each of those events, we essentially create a command and then send that command over the network using the network object. And the same happens for pause and for seek. So let's have a look at the server side now. We have three classes: a video sharing application, video sharing WebSocket, and WebSocket servlet. And let's talk about each of them a little bit. The first one is the video sharing application. This is part of the WebSockets API in Glassfish, which is a brand new API, and it's still evolving and subject to change in future versions of Glassfish. But today what you need to do is you need to define an application class that extends WebSocket application and overrides some methods. Over here we have the OnMessage method, which is a callback method that is going to be invoked every time we receive a data frame from one of our clients. And as you can see, what it does is actually very simple. It gets the payload out of that frame, and then essentially broadcasts the message to every other socket in the connection or in the session. And then the create socket method simply creates an instance of a web sharing WebSocket, which in our application, it doesn't do anything special. It's just like any other socket. So let's have a look at that class. So you can see the only thing it does is just call super in the constructor. So it's not doing anything special. There are other applications for which you may have additional logic in this class. And in order for all this to work, we need to register our application in the WebSockets engine. To do that, we use a servlet. In this case, we define a servlet, and we use the init method of a servlet to carry out that registration process. So what we do is we create a video sharing application instance, and then we register that application instance with the video sharing context. And that's all there is. Thank you very much for listening.